My name is Walter Graves, and I learned far too late that a man can give everything to his family and still end up a stranger in his own home. I went to my lakefront villa to rest my old bones, only to find my son had moved his in-laws into it. Like I was already dead. My name is Walter Graves, and the morning everything cracked open started with a simple thought. I just need a quiet place to breathe. I drove to my lakefront villa the way a tired man walks toward church, hoping for peace, begging for silence. When I reached the gate, I stopped the car so hard the tires cried. A man I'd never seen before stood on my porch, holding a mug like he'd lived there his whole life. A woman called out from inside, "Honey, did you lock the back door?" Mark said his dad might show up. My stomach dropped. I stepped out. "Excuse me," I said, trying to make sense of their faces. "This is my house." The man squinted at me. "You're Walter?" "Last I checked." I muttered. He laughed, actually laughed. "Mark told us you wouldn't mind. Said you were moving on with things." Moving on. My voice cracked. What the hell does that mean? Before he could answer, his wife rushed onto the porch. Claire's mother, though I'd only seen her twice in my life. She folded her arms like I was some salesman. "Mark said we could stay. He said you're too old to maintain the place." "Too old?" I whispered. "This house is mine." She shrugged. "Talk to your son, then. We're just doing what he said." I felt my phone buzz. A text from Mark popped up. "Dad, don't make this awkward. You don't need the villa anymore. Let them use it. Focus on whatever old people do." My throat tightened. I dialed him immediately. He answered with a sigh. "Dad, please don't start." "Start." I tried to keep my voice steady. "You let strangers into my home. Without asking. Without telling me." "They're not strangers," he said. "They're Claire's parents. Family." "Family?" I laughed bitterly. "They are my family." He paused. "Look, Dad, you're barely using the place. And they need somewhere to stay while their house is renovated. Don't be dramatic." "Dramatic?" My hand shook so hard I nearly dropped the phone. "You took my house." "No," he said. "I reassigned it. You're always alone, Dad. You don't even like going out there. Why waste it?" "I wasn't wasting it," I said, my voice breaking. "It was my peace." He exhaled loudly. "Dad, I don't have time for this. I'm in a meeting. We'll talk later." The call ended, just like that. I stared at the screen until my reflection blurred. The man on the porch cleared his throat. "So, should we expect you often, or?" I shook my head slowly. "Don't worry," I whispered. "Apparently, this isn't my place anymore." I got back in my car, but my hands wouldn't stop shaking. I kept hearing Mark's voice. "You don't need the villa anymore. Old people stuff. Reassigned." On the drive home, memories kept hitting me like stones. Mark's first steps. Mark's first bike. Mark crying because he lost a baseball game, and I carried him inside, telling him he had nothing to prove to me. I whispered to the empty car, "What happened to you, son?" When I reached my house, Olivia's car was already in the driveway. She was sitting on my porch steps, scrolling through her phone. She looked up. "Dad, what are you doing here? I thought you'd be at the villa." "Seems I wasn't invited," I said. She sighed dramatically. "Oh, God. Did Mark tell you?" "Dad, don't make it a big thing. It's temporary." "Temporary?" I stepped closer. "You all made decisions about my property without me." She shrugged. "Dad, you forget things sometimes. We're trying to help you." My chest tightened. "Forget things? Olivia, I built that house. I bought that land. I remember every brick." She rolled her eyes. "Dad, you're emotional. Let Mark handle the big stuff. That's what he's good at." I stared at her. "You talk about me like I'm a burden." She didn't deny it. That hurt more than anything. I whispered, "Do either of you remember the years I worked double shifts to pay for your school? Do you remember the nights I came home bleeding from my hands just so you could have a future?" Olivia crossed her arms. "Dad, don't guilt trip me. Times change." I laughed, but it sounded more like a sob. "Apparently so." She stood. "Look, I have to go. Just relax, okay? I watched her walk to her car, tapping on her phone like nothing mattered. Not my house, not my feelings, not the man who raised her. When she drove away, the silence around me felt heavier than stone. I went inside, sat in my old chair, and whispered, "Lily, I don't know how to fix them." But deep down, I knew the truth. They weren't broken. They simply didn't care. And that was the day my identity as a father began to die. I don't know what pushed me to check my accounts that morning. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it was Lily whispering in the back of my mind. All I know is that when I opened my online banking and saw the withdrawals, I felt the blood drain from my face. 3 transfers? I whispered, "Where the hell did these go?" I clicked the details. Mark's name. Olivia's name. My hands shook. No, they wouldn't do this. But they had. Not loans. Not emergencies. Just taking. I called Mark first. He answered with a cheerful voice. "Dad, what's up? What's up?" My jaw tightened. "You tell me. What's this money you pulled from my account?" He paused, one of those long, guilty pauses. Then he said, "Dad, relax. It's not a big deal." "It's my money," I said. "It's a very big damn deal." He chuckled like I told a joke. "Don't get worked up. You weren't using it." And Olivia said, I cut him off. "Put her on. Right now." "Dad." "Now, Mark." I heard muffling. Then Olivia's voice snapped through the line. "Dad, what are you freaking out about?" "You took money from me." I said. "You stole from me." "We didn't steal," she snapped. "We accessed funds. There's a difference." "Without asking?" I shouted. "Without telling me? That's theft." She groaned. "Dad, don't be dramatic. We're trying to stabilize some things. Mark's job is in transition, and I have debts. Debts that aren't mine." I said. She clicked her tongue. "Dad, it's not like you're going to live forever. The money is going to us eventually." I felt something inside me tear open. "Is that really how you see me? A bank account waiting to expire?" Mark got back on. "Dad, listen. You had your life. Let us live ours without making everything so hard." "My life," I said softly. "You mean the life I used to build yours?" He laughed. "There it is. The guilt trip. I knew it was coming." "It's not guilt," I said. "It's truth." "Dad, come on," he said. "You're old. You don't need this much control. It's stressful for you." "I'm not stressed," I said. "I'm betrayed." Olivia chimed in again. "Dad, we're helping. One day you'll thank us for stepping in." "Stepping in?" I repeated. "You're stepping over me." Mark sighed loudly. "Dad, stop. You're turning this into some emotional meltdown. It's just money. We needed it." "And I needed a family," I whispered. "But I guess we don't always get what we need." Silence. Then Olivia scoffed. "Look, if you're going to make this ugly, we can get the courts involved. You're getting older. A review of your capacity might not go your way." That was it. That was the moment everything inside me changed. "You're threatening me now?" I asked. "No one's threatening you," she said. "We're just stating realities." "Oh, I see the reality," I said, clearer than ever. Mark muttered, "Dad, just calm down." "No," I said. "I think I've been calm for too many years." I hung up. My hand trembled, but not from fear, from something sharper. Something I hadn't felt in decades. Anger. I sat in the living room staring at the old photo of Lily and whispered, "You were right. I should have taught them limits. I should have told them no more often." Her smiling face didn't answer, but my heart did. I stood up, grabbed a duffel bag, and started packing. A few shirts, some pants, tools, documents, whatever dignity I still had left. As I zipped the bag, I whispered, "They're not taking anything else." My phone buzzed again, Mark calling. I let it ring. Then Olivia. I let that ring too. The walls around me felt like they were closing in. Every picture of the kids felt like a lie. Every memory hurt. I walked from room to room, touching nothing. because everything suddenly felt like it belonged to people who didn't love me. Lily, I whispered, I can't stay here. Not another minute. The house creaked softly, as if agreeing. I grabbed my keys and stepped outside. The cold air slapped me awake. For the first time in years, I wasn't thinking about being a good father. I was thinking about survival. I locked the door behind me and didn't look back. Not because I wasn't hurting. God, but because staying meant letting them finish what they'd started. And I wasn't ready to die that kind of death. I drove without a plan and ended up on the edge of town, staring at an old mechanic shop with a faded sign that read Daniel's Garage. I hadn't seen Daniel in years. Not since he was a scared teenager standing outside a courthouse, begging me not to tell his mother he'd wrecked her car. I helped him back then. Maybe that's why my feet carried me toward the stairs leading to the rented room above his shop. I knocked on the office door. Daniel stepped out from under a lifted truck, wiping his hands on a rag. "Walter," he said, eyes widening. "Man, I haven't seen you in forever. You okay?" "No," I said honestly, "but I'm breathing." He tossed the rag aside and walked over. "Come inside. Tell me what's going on." Inside, the smell of oil and metal filled the air, strangely comforting. Daniel poured me a cup of burnt coffee. I didn't care. It was the first thing someone offered me without wanting something back. "What happened?" he asked. "My kids," I said. "They took my house. My money damn near took my dignity." He let out a long whistle. "Damn. Sit, tell me everything." I explained what Mark and Olivia had done. Every word tasted bitter. When I finished, Daniel leaned back and shook his head. "You need a place?" he asked. "Because I've got that spare room upstairs. It's nothing fancy, but it's yours if you want it." "Daniel, I don't want to be a burden." "You," he snorted. "Walter, I wouldn't have half this shop if it wasn't for you. You dragged my dumb 17-year-old self out of a hole. Let me return the favor." Something tightened in my throat. I nodded. "I'd appreciate that." "Good," he said. "Keys in the drawer. Take it." I stared at him, surprised. "Just like that?" "Just like that," he said. "Not everyone wants something from you, you know." That line hit me harder than I expected. Upstairs, the room was small, a narrow bed, a cracked window, a little desk. But it felt more like home than the house I'd just abandoned. I sat on the bed and whispered, "Lily, I think you like Daniel." The next morning, I came downstairs and found Daniel wrestling with a rusted bolt. "You look like you could use an extra pair of hands," I told him. He laughed. "If you're offering, I'd be stupid to say no." "I'm offering," I said. "Good," he replied. "Grab those wrenches and show me how the legend does it." "Legend?" I chuckled. "Now that's a stretch." "Nope," he said. "Everyone around here knows about you. Hardest working man in this town before you retired." I picked up a wrench. Let's see if these hands remember anything. They did. Within minutes, muscle memory kicked in. The weight of the tool, the sound of metal giving way, the smell of grease. It all felt like slipping back into a version of myself I thought died with Lily. Daniel grinned. "There he is. Walter the Machine Whisperer. Don't start rumors." I joked. People might expect miracles. We worked side by side for hours. Customers came and went. Some recognized me. "Walter? Haven't seen you in ages," an old farmer said. "Good to see you back at it." "Just lending a hand." I told him. "Well, this place got lucky then," he said. Each kind word felt like a bandage on an open wound. During lunch, Daniel tossed me a sandwich. "You staying long?" "I don't know," I said, "but I can't go back. Not right now." "You don't have to," he replied. "Stay as long as you need. Work if you want. Rest if you need." I nodded slowly. "I think I need to rebuild myself a bit." "You will," he said, "and not because of them. Because of you." Later, after closing, I sat outside the shop watching the sun dip behind the hills. Daniel joined me, leaning against the wall. "You thinking about your wife?" he asked. "Always," I said. She had this way of telling me I wasn't done yet. I hear her sometimes. Like she's saying, "Walter, It's not too late to stand up again. Daniel nodded. Then stand up. Doesn't matter how old you are. You're still you. I swallowed hard. My kids made me feel like I was nothing. He shook his head. Then let this place remind you you're still something. For the first time in months, I believed it, even if only a little. As the sky darkened, I whispered, Lily, I think I'm starting to remember the man you fell in love with. And for the first time in a long while, the world didn't feel like it was ending. It felt like it was beginning again. I didn't plan on staying at Daniel's shop for months, but life has a way of putting a man where he needs to be, not where he expected. Those months were the first time in years I slept without waking up to panic or disappointment. But while I was learning to breathe again, my children were running out of air. The first crack came from Mark. Daniel handed me my buzzing phone one afternoon. It's your son, he said. I hesitated before answering. Hello? Mark's voice wavered. Dad, something happened. What now? I asked, not unkindly, but not with the softness I used to give him. They fired me, he said. There's an investigation. They think I moved client funds. I didn't do it. I swear. You know me. I closed my eyes. Do I? Dad, come on, he begged. Please. I need help. I need a lawyer. I need money. There it was. The real reason. What about the money you took from me? I asked. Use that. That's gone, he whispered. Gone where? I asked. He hesitated. We invested. Something crashed. It wasn't supposed to. I shook my head. You mean you gambled? He sniffed. Dad, please? I'm scared. For a moment I saw him as a little boy again, running to me after scraping his knee. But then the memories twisted, because the boy who once clung to my leg had grown into a man who emptied my life like it was a broken wallet. I'm sorry you're scared, I said, but I can't save you from consequences. Dad, please don't do this. I'm not doing anything, I said. Karma is... He started crying, but I ended the call. My hand shook, not from anger, but from a strange mix of sadness and relief. Daniel asked quietly, You okay? I don't know, I said. Maybe for the first time, yes. A week later, Olivia called, then called again, then again. Finally, I answered just so I could breathe. Dad, she said instantly, voice shattering, he left me. Who? I asked. My husband. He found messages, financial stuff, conversations I had with Mark. He said I manipulated him. He said I used him. Her voice cracked. He's saying he'll file for divorce. He shut down all our accounts. Everything's frozen. I leaned against the workbench. Olivia, what did you expect? Not this, she sobbed. Dad, I didn't think it would explode like this. I thought we had control. No one has control forever, I said. Not when they build their life on lies. Dad, please, she whispered. I need a place to stay. I need someone. Please don't turn your back on me. You turned your back first. I reminded her. That was different. No, I said. It wasn't. She paused, desperate. Don't you love me? I swallowed hard. I do. That's why this hurts. But love doesn't mean letting you use me again. Her sobs became sharp, panic breaths. Dad, please? I'm sorry. No, I said softly. You're sorry you lost everything. Not sorry for how you treated me. Silence. A long one. Then she whispered, I guess I deserve that. When the call ended, I felt a cold calm settle over me. Not joy, not triumph, just clarity. 2 days later, the final blow came in a voicemail. It was Claire. Walter, I don't know if you've heard, but the villa, your villa, it's gone. Foreclosed. Mark didn't keep up the payments. We thought he did, but I guess we were wrong. I'm sorry. I just thought you should know. My throat tightened, but not the way it would have months earlier. Let them have it. I whispered to the empty room, or what's left of it. I played the message again, then another one from Mark, and another from Olivia. Apologies, tears, please. all coming from the same mouth that once told me I was old, useless, dramatic, incompetent. Daniel walked in as I listened. "Rough?" he asked. "No," I said. "Not anymore." "What do you mean?" "I mean," I said slowly, "they're feeling the consequences." And I didn't lift a finger. Daniel nodded. "That's karma for you." Karma, a force I used to think was too slow. But now I saw it clearly. It didn't miss, it just waited. I put my phone down, sat on the edge of my small bed, and let out a breath that felt like it belonged to a new man. A man who no longer felt guilty. A man who no longer felt responsible for the wreckage his children created. A man who was finally learning to let go. And for the first time in a long time, the ache in my chest felt quiet. Not healed. Not gone. Just quiet. Daniel and I had just closed the shop for the day when I heard footsteps outside. Hesitant ones. Not customers. Not neighbors. Something heavier. Something familiar. Daniel looked toward the window. "Walter, you might want to take a look at this." I walked over and saw them standing there, Mark, Olivia, and Claire, 3 ghosts from a life I'd buried months ago. Their shoulders slumped, faces pale, eyes hollow. Mark stepped forward first. "Dad, can we talk?" I opened the door and walked outside slowly. "You're here." My voice didn't tremble. That surprised me. Olivia wiped her eyes. "Dad, we didn't know where else to go." Claire whispered, "We're not here to fight." Daniel hovered behind me, ready if I needed him. I nodded for him to stay back. I crossed my arms. "Say what you came to say." Mark swallowed hard. "Dad, I messed up bad, and I know you warned me. I know you tried to help, but I didn't listen." "You didn't just not listen," I said. "You took from me. You lied to me." "I know." His voice cracked. "Dad, I'm sorry." Olivia stepped in. "Me too. I was awful. I manipulated you. I thought we had everything under control. I thought you'd always be there to fix things." "Why?" I asked quietly. "Why did you think that?" She looked down. "Because you always were." That hurt more than I expected. Claire approached next. "Walter, I know I'm not your blood, but I'm sorry for the way my family treated your home. We had no right." I looked at all of them, their shaking hands, their red eyes. For months I'd imagined this moment. I thought anger would rise in me like a storm. I thought I'd shout and break things and ask why until my voice died. But instead, I just felt tired. "What do you want from me?" I asked. Mark whispered, "A chance." Olivia said, "Forgiveness." Claire added, "Maybe guidance. Or just kindness. We don't deserve it, but..." I waited. I needed the truth. Finally, Mark said what they were too nervous to say. "We also need help. Not money. Just help. Support." There it was. Not as sharp as before, but still the same old pattern. "I can forgive you," I said, "but I can't save you." Mark's face fell. "Dad." "No," I said. "Listen to me. I spent my whole life being the man who fixed everything. I held you both up until my back broke. And when I finally needed support, you pushed me to the ground." Olivia whispered, "We know, and we're ashamed." "I believe you," I said, "but being sorry isn't the same as changing." Mark took a step closer. "Dad, we'll do better. I swear." "Maybe you will," I said. "I hope you do. But I'm not giving you money. I'm not signing anything. I'm not going back to being your safety net." He looked desperate. "So that's it? You're done with us?" "No," I said softly. "I'm just done being used." Olivia started crying again. "Dad, we love you. Please don't shut us out." I shook my head. "I'm not shutting you out, but I'm not opening the doors the way I used to. If you want to be in my life, you come with respect, not demands." They were silent. I continued, "I forgive you. Truly, I don't want to carry anger anymore. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. And it doesn't mean stepping back into the role you carved out for me." Mark covered his face. Claire squeezed his arm. Olivia whispered, "I understand." I nodded. "Good. Then you know why you have to leave now." Olivia looked up sharply. Now! Yes, I said. You came to say your piece. I heard it, but I'm not ready for more. I need my space. You need your growth. This is how it has to be. Mark looked broken. Okay, Dad, if that's what you need. It is, I said. For once in my life, I'm choosing me. They turned to leave. Olivia glanced back once. Dad. Yes. We'll try to be better. For real. I hope so, I said. For your sake. When they walked away, I didn't chase them. For the first time in decades, I didn't chase anything. Daniel stepped beside me. You handle that like a man who finally knows his own worth. Maybe I do, I said. I walked back upstairs into my little room. It wasn't the house I built with Lily, but it was mine. Mine because of choice, not obligation. I sat on the bed and breathed, slow, steady, alive. My dignity, I whispered, is mine again. And in that moment, I realized something beautiful. This story, my story, finally belonged to me.